Vivo muy agradecida de aquí, de la Junta, vivo muy agradecida. De ellos, de los doctores, de las enfermeras, de los que nos atienden. Yo siento que ahora es mi hogar.
Nosotros como Junta de Beneficencia lo que hacemos es abrirles las puertas, no solo para que este sea su hogar, sino que trabajamos en desarrollar personas capaces.
Cuando sea grande, quiero ser como mi ídolo, Gonzalo Plata.
Una vez unos chicos con unos chalecos celestes y ahí vinieron, pasaron por aquí y ahí me preguntaron qué tenía el bebé porque andaba arrastrando de ladito y ahí yo le dije que tenía problema en los piecitos, viradito y las caderas también tenían y ahí ellos me dijeron que me iban a ayudar. La Junta se encarga de los yesos, de las consultas, y me vienen a ver y así mismo me vienen a dejar aquí a mi domicilio y ahí ya se cogen y se van y yo ya me quedo aquí en mi casa.
Estoy feliz de poder jugar pelota. No quiero correr, no quiero saltar. Quiero jugar como mi amigo.
In Ecuador, where more than 50% of its citizens live in a situation of vulnerability, the work of the Junta de Beneficencia has been a remedy and an encouragement to raise a common cause, to lend a hand to those who need it most. That is why, in 2023, when adversity had warned that working in all corners of the country would be nearly impossible, and that the harsh social, climatic and political conditions would make it difficult to reach where no one else could reach and assist those most in need, the Junta and its people did not rest even for a minute to multiply their help. 8,160 surgeries performed on the most vulnerable people throughout Ecuador. 2,500 pterygium and cataract surgeries at the Luis Vernaza Hospital with territorial screening and provision of medicine to each patient for their safe recovery, which translates into immediate workforce inclusion for thousands of people, especially those dedicated to fishing. We have performed hundreds of highly complex surgeries that saved the lives of children, young people and adults through procedures that only the Junta de Beneficencia, through its benchmark hospitals, could perform. 160,000 people have been impacted through the dental missions that have visited every corner of the country, with preventive health, edu-communication, and restorations that allow them to improve their quality of life. 2,000 lottery sellers with access to prioritized preventive health packages. More than 800,000 people impacted with access to low-cost health and board programs with the implementation of the new social co-payment system interconnected with the Ecuadorian Social Registry. We have removed more than 5,000 children and young people from violence, drugs and homelessness at the JBG Sports School and the sports schools in alliance with Guayaquil City Hall, with a projection of providing scholarships to 15,000 children in the first months of the year 2024. We joined Club Atlético de Madrid, and the high-performance school is now a reality. In 2023, our U12 Sports Promises competed in the first international tournament in which the Junta has ever participated with one of its social sports categories. We impacted 2,500 people with the JBG scholarship plan in their educational units, and we project to have an exponential expansion of our social work in the most vulnerable areas of Guayaquil during 2024 and 2025. We welcome 27,300 family members of children and young people who are ill in our hospitals, as well as beneficiaries of the Junta's social health programs, to our JBG shelter with humanized and dignified care to alleviate their burden. We strengthen the home residence for people with psychological disabilities, providing each of its members with a life with purpose and goals to fulfill in order to guarantee their happiness in the midst of adversity. 2,200 children in situation of abandonment or violence that are in all the shelters of the country today receive preventive and psychological health care and support in their life plan through the noble mission Juntando Sueños that visits all of Ecuador and has a group of 30 Neuroscience Institute professionals and over 20 doctors to working to change realities and build a clear system of care and monitoring for those who lack the basic element in life, a family. 3,500 people living in poverty with more than 75% of disability were included in the first home care program for people with disabilities of this dimension in the country. The Junta acquired all of the prioritized package that includes the provision of inclusive tools, food, medication, supplies and education for caregivers to consolidate an authentic inclusion plan. 5,000 people with different types of disabilities from all corners of the country received inclusive tools to improve their quality of life. 4,000 beneficiaries of the Junta's different programs had access to the traffic light program, which allows them to identify their most urgent needs and address them, as well as project a future where each family has a development plan. The board conducted a total census of 3,044 inhabitants of the Sinchal commune in the province of Santa Elena, where it carries out its program against child malnutrition. 623 families, 280 children, and thousands of people impacted through a methodology that will not only change the future of the intervened areas, but also replicate the model in every corner of the country. 15,600 people reached through the delivery of food has allowed us to be leaders, especially in areas of high complexity and disaster zones. The Junta has been initiative and action, Esmeraldas and Alausí. Nothing has stopped us when it comes to humanitarian work, where arriving means having allies in every corner of the country, coordinating with the authorities so as not to waste aid and attending to urgencies of disasters with the vision of improving the future of the people. For the first time, we went on a complete mission of all our programs, health, education, inclusion and food, to Taisha, province of Morona, Santiago, where vulnerability called us and where the arms of each beneficiary were the strength, the cause, and the hope not to give up for the long days that the work demanded. Because in 2023, the Junta created a challenge out of adversity. From adversity, challenge. From difficulty, strength. Out of pain, hope. From loneliness, family. Out of abandonment and violence, life and dreams. From despair, new days. Because for the Junta de Beneficencia, helping is your greatest deed.